Cheers, and welcome back to Cooking with MoWino. So, I had this eggplant in the house, and instead of making a traditional eggplant parmesan, I wanted to make it a little lighter because we're having a beautiful day here with sun shining, the birds chirping, and the leaves are just blowing in the wind. So I wanted to make it a little lighter, which I have done before, making a traditional eggplant parmesan light version, which I then make them as stacks with a spinach layer and fresh tomatoes and whatever. But this time I decided to go a little Greek. So I'm having a little Greek wine. Shout out to my uncorked Greek friends. This is delicious stuff. Highly recommend trying a Greek white wine this summer. So we are going to make a Greek MoWino version of eggplant parmesan. So come along. You've seen some of the ingredients in the prep. I have used fresh fava beans. I originally thought I was going to use chickpeas, but didn't have any chickpeas in the house, so we're going with the fava beans. So we have did a flash boil with them with some garlic and some vegetable broth, and we have peeled the shells, which was a little tedious, but it was a good texture. And what I want the fava beans to be is really the protein layer of the parmesan. So come along and enjoy. Cheers. Okay, so we have flash boiled our fava beans with garlic, and now they're semi-soft and ready to be really cooked. So what I'm going to do is I have some homemade vegetable broth in the fridge, and I'm just going to put enough that covers them completely. And I'm going to bring that to a boil and then do a low simmer for until they're tender. And I'll bring you back. Cheers. With vegetable. Okay, so now we're going to make our sauce, which we have some olive oil in this saucepan. And I'm going to saute a chopped onion. Now this is going to be a tomato sauce where our fava beans, which are here all nice and shelled and tender, are going to be our meat, serve as our meat that's in our sauce. So come along. Okay, so we have our onion and garlic sauteed with all of our spice mixture. And now I'm going to add a can of chopped tomatoes. And I'm going to rinse my can with our wine so that we get all the tomato goodness out of our can. And this is simple diced tomatoes with no salt, low sodium. So here we go. Sauce. So add in our protein of our fava beans. Now, the traditional tomato sauce that I would make for an Italian dish would have basil and garlic and onion and some oregano. This spice mix has in it some allspice, cinnamon, cumin, garlic, and so now this is our chunky tomato sauce that I'm going to let simmer now and so all the spices and the flavors gel together, and we'll thicken the sauce a little bit, and we will then incorporate our Greek lasagna our Greek eggplant parmesan. Or I've got to come up with a different name because there's not really any parmesan. It's eggplant feta. All right, I'll bring you back. Cheers. Okay, so what we're going to do is make individual eggplants. We're going to use these nice little rings, and I have salted, drained, and dried my eggplant. Now, we could do this as a casserole, but I'm trying to make it nice and fancy, so I have these rings I like to cook. But my eggplant, as you can see, is bigger than my ring, so I'm just going to literally make it fit so that I have perfect layers for my eggplant, parmesan, feta, Greek, lasagna, whatever we're going to call it. All right. Okay, so now we're ready for our assembly. We have our molds, which I have sprayed with canola oil, and we have our pre-cut eggplants. A little bit of sauce in each container, just so it just stays nice and moist. And take our eggplant and put our first layer in. A good amount of sauce, which is chunky, with our fava beans and chopped tomatoes. We put some of our feta cheese. Now you could put a layer of spinach, but I have to tell you, we just used up all of our spinach. So I had it frozen and I just didn't have time to frost it. But I think a layer of spinach would probably be really good here. Layer of our eggplant. A little bit of red pepper flakes. Just some. Also, I'm going to put a little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt, more sauce. Again, this is chunky on purpose. Leftover toppings. This one's a little thicker than I wanted, but it's okay. Okay, so we're going to put a little olive oil. Just a small topping of sauce. Actually, you know what? I have some Parmesan cheese. I'm going to put 2 with feta and 2 with Parmesan and see what comes out best. And stay tuned for the finished product. Alright. Okay, moment of truth. Dun 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 dun. Woo! So we have a little cheese issue here that's sticking to our cylinder. Got a little crazy because we like cheese in this house. So the one that I'm doing now is the mozzarella topped eggplant stack. Let's see if I cleaned it up. Oops, still sticking. The feta one did not stick, but to be truthful, I put too much cheese on this one. So when you do this, you just have to make sure you're not cheese extravagant to come over the edge. That's the problem. We came over the edge. So now let's try it. Ta-da! We have our Greek eggplant stacks, topped with feta, topped with mozzarella. Cheers, my friends. Live life, taste life.